Hey everybody, welcome to the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. Coming to you live from Oklahoma, Tennessee, high above the White Oak Valley Research and Development Campus. The Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. We're brought to you by Butcher Barbecue and all the great Butcher Barbecue products only in Chandler, Oklahoma, and David, Boston. Butcher Barbecue, trust your butcher with Butcher Barbecue products. Also brought to you by my place, Steve Ray's Midnight Oil in Ottawa. If you need tires, service, ethanol-free fuel for your car, for your motorcycle, for your boat, there's only one place to go. That's my place, Steve Ray's Midnight Oil in Ottawa. Everybody, thank you for joining us tonight here on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. We got a great show lined up for you tonight. Before we start to tell you who's with us, let me tell you where to follow us. Follow us on YouTube. Every interview that I do on Wednesday nights here on the barbecue show, the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show, is put on YouTube. The Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. Go there, subscribe it, and watch. We've got interviews with Heath Riles back there, Malcolm Reed, Andy Cagle, Nick Thayers, Rub Bagby, Tim Malloy, Matt Barber, who is in Europe as we speak competing in barbecue contest, a plethora of local and nationally known barbecue people just waiting for you to listen to them. Also, you can follow us on Vimeo, the same deal. Follow us on Instagram, where we post cool pictures, especially on the weekends when we're cooking here at the house. And follow us on Facebook, on my Facebook page, or on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Facebook page. We've got tonight with us two great guests. First half hour rather. Brad Leineger, the 2018 Kansas City Barbecue Society Team of the Year. He won the last contest of the year out in California. Drove over to Denver, Colorado just last weekend and won that contest too. So this guy is on a streak. We're going to talk to him. And we're going to talk to him about another venture that he has with one of the greatest group of barbecue people in the United States, the National Barbecue League. In the second half hour, our guest will be Jake Raulston. That's right. Everybody knows him here in Chattanooga. Jake Raulston. He's from Naked River Brewing. He's the owner down there. And they have got a fantastic event coming up this Saturday, the 19th, where you could be brewer for a day. And we're going to talk to Jake about that. And we're also going to talk to Jake about the smokers that they use down at Naked River. Not only do they do beer, they do great barbecue as well. So we'll be talking to Jake about that as well. But we're going to go hide through the curtain, and we are going to get in touch with Brad Leineger here in just a moment. We got to do a few housekeeping chores. Let's see if we can't call up Skype. And we'll get a hold of Brad here. There he is.
Hello.
Hey, Brad.
Hello.
Hey, Brad, can you hear us? How you doing, man? Good to hear from you. Brad Leineger, everyone, the 2018 KCBS Barbecue Team of the Year. Brad, do you just get shivers down your spine when you hear that still?
I mean, it's a nice accomplishment and something I set out to do. But it's certainly, I've got other goals and bigger goals in barbecue that I manage and other stuff I'm proud of. So yeah, it's something that I set out to do and I'm proud of. But I've got other things to accomplish.
Okay, I know you're still quite a young man. But okay, if you other things to accomplish. Now let's see. You went out to California in December, correct? Shake your head up and down. Went to the King of the Smokers. Now tell me and my viewing audience how you did at the King of the Smokers.
brisket, I believe ninth in ribs, and good enough in chicken. It seems like chicken score kind of stay in the 170s for a long time, so it was good enough for a grand championship. So that was definitely that was my fourth year at Senior Smoker, and this is the last one that Sterling's putting on. So it was definitely a huge win, and something that I'm thrilled to death I could be a part of.
Yeah, well, Brad, you're much too humble, and just so everyone knows, that's against, I think the top was it 20 or 25 teams in the nation.
Yeah, I mean he gets a good mix.
Yeah.
Of course, Boomerang and Smoky Silly, who were 2 and 3 this year, were off playing in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Point chasing. I think Smoky Silly, he had some work commitments, so he couldn't get out there. But other than that, yeah, I mean you had many of the top pitmasters, both current, and then you get some legends there cooking. You got Chris Lilly, who had won the thing before. You've got Tuffy Stone. You've got Johnny Trigg.
Right.
Guys that frankly, that I started, watching them on Pitmasters is how I got into things. So, yeah, no, it's a great honor. It's a huge win for sure. I mean, it's the biggest win of my career. That's no doubt about it.
Brad, one of the things I love about our sport is we can look up to these guys, Myron Mixon, Johnny Trigg, Tuffy Stone, fellows that we started following at least when I first learned about competitive barbecue. And as you go along, you get to meet them. But then we're about the only sport where you can actually compete against your idols.
Yeah, it's a great thing in our sport that you can go in there as long as you pay your entry fee and you bring your meat and you can compete against anybody. I mean I think that is a very unique thing in our sport, and it's something that a guy that's cooking his first contest can go out there and beat the best. And you don't see that anywhere else. That's a fact.
No, it's a fantastic sport that they've come up with, and just being able to compete against the idols is one of the things that when I go to a contest, back in 17 when I competed in the World Food Championships, I was parked right behind you and Tim Shear, Whiskey Bent Barbecue, all the guys from Texas. I know. I think I made Mike McLeod angry that day, and that's where he stuck me. Well, I had the loudest. I had the loudest generator, so they let me know about that real quick. That was my first lesson in what kind of generator to bring to a barbecue contest. You don't bring a loud one. Everybody lets you know about it for sure. But meeting you guys down there and watching y'all cook, and it's kind of like the wannabes like me watching the real professionals like you, is y'all take it to a different level. And just to win the team of the year, Brad, I believe this was a record-setting year for a number of cooks that the people in the race had to do, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, of course, now you've got more and more doubles, and now it's even triples.
Yeah.
That they've had, and it's just you can't take a week off. I think I passed Matt from Boomerang in June maybe, but even then, as long as he's cooking, I have to cook. I've got to go out there, and if he's going to go out, I've got to go out there and at least play defense. So you've got to go, and that's the thing about the setup. I mean, everybody's like, okay, they take your top 10, and they do take your top 10, but it takes 10 wins at least, and then multiple wins. And I know, he ended up having 11, and I had 12 wins. And I think he cooked 53 or 54 contests, and I ended up cooking 50. And it wears you down. It's a grind for sure.
Now, Now, what I was going to say is only 52 weeks in the year. Tell me about that grind.
Well, it starts early, I cooked Denver last year and ended up winning it, and I wanted to get in here last weekend again. So
Yeah.
It started January 6th for me last year, and it ran all the way through. Our last points event was in Las Vegas, December 16th. So, we had a week off here and there. I took a couple vacations and a couple times off. And like you said, I did a lot of doubles last year. I don't know off the top of my head, but I bet a good 10 to 15 of those were doubles. So you're getting 2 in a weekend. So that helps you, gives you a little bit of time off. But you certainly, I mean, if you are trying to chase points and there's a weekend that you can cook, you feel like you have to be out there cooking, otherwise it'll pass you by. Somebody go out there and get a win, or or do something, and I look at it almost like sales. You know, you got a winning percentage, and you go out and you cook so many contests, you're going to win so many contests. If you want to win more contests, what can you do? You know, you cook more or you cook better. You know, those are the two ways that you can do it. And so it really is. You know, you kind of find out what it's almost like a closing percentage. You know, you find out what your percentage is, and mine, you know, I'm sitting there between one out of every 3 and 1 out of every 4. And so you go out there and you say, hey, I need to win 12 contests to do this year, and I'm winning 1 out of every 4. So boom, I got to do 48 contests.
And that in itself is, it's just a tremendous effort and a tremendous dedication, I guess. What I'm trying to find, the word I'm trying to find is to go out and do that, and you know, to do all that and to cook against Boomerang Barbecue, who I think you ended up winning by 1 point. Is that right?
Yeah, 1 point.
Yeah,
so, you know, just one person sitting there that could have shown up at a contest that he was at and won, or one less at one of the contests that I won that wasn't max points, and you know, then we go to a tiebreaker. So I mean, it's just crazy. You know, that you come down a whole year and cook like that. We both cooked very well, I felt, and you know, it just 1 point separates you. And you know, it's stressful, but make no mistake about it. I mean, you know, you were parked by us. We have a good time when we do this. I mean, you know, obviously when you're chasing team of the year, you do some contests that you wouldn't do, and you go cook sometimes when you don't want to cook. But you know, 90% of the time, that's where I want to be. You know, I want to be out there cooking. I enjoy it. Where the grind really gets you is during the week. You know, I mean, people that get into it at a high level, you know, procuring your meat that you cook and finding stuff, you know, competition quality stuff can take up quite a bit of time. And so really my biggest time drain was in the week. And of course, you know, we've got some advantages. I've got a restaurant that I can pick from. We cook Smithfield products at the restaurant, cook Snake River Farms stuff at the restaurant. So I can always go into the restaurant. If I was having trouble finding it from my usual sources, I could go in there and dig through it. So, you know, that definitely gives you a leg up. But honestly, just getting prepped, getting everything ready to go, that's the biggest grind. Once you get to a contest, it's gravy. It's fun.
Yeah, people don't realize what it takes through the week is you're cutting meat, prepping meat, like you said, picking meat out, which is probably the most important part of the week. What's the schedule? Just share it with the people that are listening here, especially the local guys here at Ottawa that like to talk about competition barbecue. Just go through the schedule of the week. Like, what's the Brad, the Leineger getting basted, getting ready to go schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I'm spending, you know, Monday I usually take off and, you know, from barbecue, and I attend to, you know, a business, you know, at the restaurants, or, you know, stuff that I actually, you know, make money doing. And then Tuesday it starts in, I'll go around and try to procure all my meat. I've got a relationship with, you know, a guy at a local grocery store here that I get my chicken from. So I'll go out there and get my chicken. I'll you know, start digging through and trying to find ribs and pork, and I'll trim up, you know, a brisket or two if I have to, if it comes to that. And then Wednesday I'm mixing up all my sauces and injections and making sure I've got all the rubs, doing inventory on rubs and doing everything I need to go. And then, you know, Thursday you're starting to load, you know, sometimes depending on how far you're traveling, sometimes you're leaving on Thursday. You know, if it's not Thursday, it's Friday morning. So you load up and you're on the road. So you're gone Friday, you know, cook the contest Saturday and come home Sunday, clean everything up and go again. Of course, I cook on Gateway Drum Smokers. So, you know, at some point, usually during the week, I'll usually pick the best day weather-wise, and I'll end up cleaning my drums out. So, you know, that takes 2 or 3 hours to get done. So, no, it's just a constant, and you get into a rhythm. It's like anything else. And you know, some of the things like trimming chicken or cleaning drums or this or that aren't the most fun things in the world to do, but you do those to get to the fun part. And it's important that you stay focused. And if you want to win, I mean, that's, you know, you get a lot of this, you know, I think a misconception in barbecue is that, you know, these guys that, you know, Darren and Tim and they somehow get better product, and they don't. You know, the truth of the matter is they're out there working their ass off, and if you want to go out there and beat them, you got to do the same, and you got to go out there and put in the 20 weeks and go pick through the meat like Darren does or like I do, and that's what you get in there. I mean, nothing's given to you, and it doesn't matter what level you are of the sport, nothing's given to you. If you want it, you got to go out there and take it.
No, at the end of the day, everybody, you know, at the end of the day, I tell everybody, I said the judges don't know what in the world you're cooking on. And the only thing they're interested in is those 6 pieces that are in that box. When you turn them in, that's what it all boils down to. It's an incredible amount of preparation time for the small amount of meat that you actually turn in to the judges, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the amount of work that goes into that finished product is, yeah, it's mind blowing to sit there and think about it. You know, how much effort and time and commitment went into that finished product, and then and that's why people get aggravated. Then you get a 7 or a 6 or whatever, and of course you put all that time and effort into it, and that's why some people get aggravated with the judging. I personally am not one of the ones. I think judging's fine right now, honestly. I think they get it right more often than they don't, but that's another subject. So
yeah, we don't want to go into that. Hey, when you went out to Denver this last weekend, tell us about that. You went out there and you snatched a win, second year in a row that you've won that contest, and people don't know how rare that is in this sport to be able to do the same contest and do back to back. It's kind of like winning. It's kind of like winning the British Open back to back.
Yeah, it's tough to win. I mean, you got. There were 38 teams there, and they're all trying to do the same thing you are. I mean, I look at it, barbecue, I'm trying to go out there and get a top 5 every week. If I get a top 5, I've done good enough to win. Now, where I slot in that top 5, depends some on luck and some on, there's some stuff outside of your influence that determines where you slide in. So to go in there and have everything line up that you can win a contest twice, yeah, it's certainly not easy, and it's something I'm proud of. But then again, I do pretty well in Colorado. The first year, that's the third year I cooked it. The first year I got third out there, and we cooked Frisco, and I've been in the top 5 there, pretty much every time I cooked it. So you do get in areas that your flavor profile, or maybe even it's your confidence that kicks in. But I didn't think I had that 1-1 on Saturday. I was sitting there, I didn't get a chicken call, and I was happy with my chicken. I didn't get a rib call. And I was happy with that. I ended up with a 6th-place pork, and Travis Clark was sitting there with 3 calls.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting the brisket win, which that ended up looking at the score sheet, the drop off on the scores for brisket were significant. Which a lot of times, if you're not going to get a call, chicken's the one to do it in, because you can get 18th place chicken and still have a good score. Whereas brisket, it falls off in a hurry. So you got to pick a category to win, and win the category and win the contest. Brisket's the one to do it. But that was one of the ones that was a lot of fun, because it was a surprise at the end of it. When they're counting, doing the top 10, I kind of had myself in that 4th, 5th range, and ended up winning it. It was, it was a great feeling.
Hey, Brad, when you cook, do you cook different flavor profiles for the different regions you travel? Because as a major competition cook like you are, you'll go to Colorado, you'll go down to Florida, you'll go to Kansas, out to California. Do you change your flavor profiles, or do you just kind of one of those guys that I dance with what brung me?
I run the same stuff. I mean, I'll change my flavors throughout the year, but it's not because of a regional thing. I'll change if I think something needs to be done in general, to help me win anywhere. But I run what is working, and you get rumors of this or that. You go up to Wisconsin, they like things a little bit less done. They like food a little bit tighter. You go down here, they like this, they like that. I mean, it's rumor, and I know that what I do hits. And so I run what I run, and I could sit there and take somebody's advice or take somebody's, but then I'm changing my product. I don't know what it is. And I'm just chasing a rumor at that point. So I think it's, and Travis and myself and Tim, we've done so many classes, and judges travel, and for better or worse, I think barbecue has become a little more, little homogenous because of that, stuff on the internet. So I think flavor profiles now, as far as KCBS goes in competition, I don't know that there's a whole lot of difference from region to region anymore. I think some of that, like I said, for better or worse, has been classes and internet websites and stuff like that out of the thing. So now I think the same thing scores everywhere. At least that's been my opinion. I can't even remember. I got wins in several states this year, and just running what I think is good food.
Hey, when you're cooking, does it boil down to is it a flavor contest, or is it a meat tenderness contest?
Oh, it's a tenderness contest without a doubt. I mean, there's multiple flavors that'll win. I mean, it's got to taste good. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that is important, and that is the highest weighted score. But if you don't hit tenderness, then you're sunk. A tenderness score will bleed over to your taste score. If something's dry or if something's undercooked or whatever, you're chewing it too long or whatever it is, I mean, that's going to affect the flavor. So no, the first thing is you got to hit tenderness. If you're not hitting tenderness, you're completely sunk. So it's certainly, and I know, people get mad, but we're doing, everybody's doing the same thing. Well, at the end of the day, maybe they are. And so they've got to cook the meat right. So at the end of the day, you cook the meat right, and then you throw some blues hog on it, and you're going to end up getting your name called. I mean, it's pretty much that simple. But at the end of the day, if you don't cook the meat right, it doesn't matter what you put on there. You could have the best secret flavor in the world, and it's not going to score if you don't cook that piece of meat right.
Now I know the Team of the Year race is a personal. It's a grind. It's a lot like the NASCAR tracks or the NASCAR point system used to be. Now what about 2019? Are you going to try to do that again, or what does 2019 hold for Gettin Basted?
No, I'm not going to chase this year. I mean, I always tell people I'm still going to cook. I love it. I'll probably end up doing 30 to 35 contests this year, but I'm not going to chase again. I don't know of a lot of benefit of winning the thing twice other than just ego. And, I've got some other stuff I want to do, spend some time with the family, and I want to go cook some contests. I mean, a lot of the times you don't understand when you're chasing, a lot of times, you may have a contest down the street that's only got, let's say, 30 teams, and you might end up having to drive down to Georgia or something to find one that's a max point one. And so all your friends are cooking, down the street, wondering where you're at. You're off on a 9-hour road trip. And that's just the nature of the beast. You spend a lot of time calling organizers and finding out if they have the 35 teams that you need to be a max pointer. And I just don't want to deal with that again this year. So I'm just going to cook what I want to cook and let everything, as far as the points go, they'll just fall out where they fall out.
Now, what's the farthest you traveled, taking California out of the equation? What was the farthest you traveled in 2018 to do a contest?
No, we went down to the Plant City, down to Florida. Mm-hmm. That's not quite as far for us as California. But the good thing is we're lucky is that down in Florida, I had some guys, Megabyte Barbecue. They've got a barbecue shop down there, but they cook on Gateway drums, and they were nice enough to load me up like a little Sprinter van. And I flew in and grabbed their van and ran out and did the contest and came back. And I mean, and then we've got, like, when we go out to California or we go out to Las Vegas. Las Vegas would have been another one that was a long ways away, but we fly into those, as far as the drive goes, the furthest I drove this year was, I'm trying to even think, up to Wisconsin. We've got some good drives up that way. We'll go down to, down into Tennessee, over, Denver's, pretty good drive. So, I mean, we'll cover pretty good area of the Midwest, but, we've got strategic places where we've got Gateway drums stashed. So we can just fly in, rent a U-Haul, and then go cook. So it makes it, the TSA loves it when you're, I think one week, and that's one of the things that helped me with King the Smoker, is at the time I had been cooking out of a suitcase and under an easy up on borrowed equipment for about a month and a half. Uh-huh. We'd done California, we'd done Florida. So when I was the King the Smoker, that's what I'd been doing. And I think it gave me a leg up because, everybody else was kind of doing it for the first time. They may not do it that often. Where I've been doing it every week. I knew exactly what I needed to have with me. I knew exactly, how to cook out of that easy up, and it changes it. Get guys in our porch trailers all the time. You stick them under an easy up, it changes their game a little bit.
So when you fly into a place, you take obviously you take all your rubs with you. I'm assuming you take your sauces, or do you try to buy your sauces at the location?
Yeah, pretty much everything. I mean, we'll buy stuff like butter and some of the other stuff that we use at the location, if I know Walmart's going to have it. But I mean, I'm taking my meat, I'm taking my sauces, I'm taking my injections. I may not pre-mix my injection. I'll probably mix it, when I get to the contest. But I'm taking my powders. And, the best thing is trying to get on the airplane with some Cosmo Moisture Magic. It's just a little white powder. I don't know if they ever look at that. But we'll bring everything we need to do the contest. And then I've got a suitcase that's got just the stuff I need. It's just not a full-size suitcase, but I can fit all the stuff that I need to do a contest into that suitcase. So basically, I'm end up checking the bag of the sauces and stuff, obviously, because you can't get through TSA. And then I carry all my meat on because the meat's heavy. So if you try to, I've got a backpack cooler that ends up weighing about 80 pounds, and I'm walking around the airport with that thing. But it's I've got it down to a system, and it's a good way to go.
I don't know if it's, I should call it the barbecue rock star, Brad, or barbecue nomad. Running around airports,
Nomad, yeah.
running around airports strapped up with a brisket, 3 pork butts, some 12 pieces of chicken, and 5 ribs on your backpack. That's, I guess those
Yeah, but
TSA dogs, they go crazy when you walk through, don't they?
well, yeah, if you see me in a line at the airport and I'm heading to a contest and that there's more than one line, get the other one because
Yeah.
they take everything out. You got to run everything in its own bin, each piece of meat through its own bin and through the detector. So it's kind of funny, but where I fly from, they actually know me now. So they're used to it. I've been doing it so much. It's kind of funny. So we'll have some good conversations while they're checking out the meat. So,
there's one thing y'all did this past summer that I thought the whole idea of it was great, and it's something that our sport needs so desperately. Let's talk a little bit about that tonight. And that's the National Barbecue League. You guys had 10 teams in that last year, and it was kind of a mini circuit within the larger KCBS tour. And tell everybody about how that came to be, and kind of share with us what you got planned for that this year, because I think that's one of the best innovations for our sport that I've seen it come down the pike in a real long time.
Yeah, so the concept is, right now, as you know, we don't have a whole lot of incentive to cook against each other. As a matter of fact, it's in my best interest to find out where Darren or Travis or Tim or all these guys are cooking and they go somewhere else because we can't all win. And, of course, the points don't care. It doesn't matter who you cook against to get points. So the concept of it was that, hey, we're tired of cooking 50 contests. I want to be relevant. I want to cook. I think the team of the year in an organization should be a time commitment. I think that you should have to cook, 25 or 30 contests. But I don't think should be a year round. There's no other sport. Just like, everybody's got an off season. We're in a situation where there's no off season. So you see guys that go through it and that have won, and all those guys get burnt out and step down and quit cooking. They're no worse cooks. They're still great cooks. They just can't. It's just not worth doing it anymore. So the concept is, okay, let's get some of these top teams and let's make a commitment to cook against each other. Let's put some prize money out there, which obviously after KCBS cut the prize money to next to nothing. National Barbecue League paid more, to win it than I got more. I got third in the National Barbecue League, 1-2 categories. I'm getting paid better than I am from KCBS for winning the thing.
I'll be
so
darned.
Actually get some money, get some incentive to cook everybody, and have a reasonable number of events. And let's go out there and let's settle it on the field, so to speak. And Tim and I, kind of came up with it. We've been talking about it. I shouldn't say we came up with it. We've been talking about it for several years, and we've been trying to talk somebody else into doing it. And for whatever reason, nobody else could do it. So we finally said, hey, if we're going to make this happen, we're going to have to do it. So this last year, we piggybacked on other events, and it worked out really well. We had some great events, and we had, it was a lot of fun. We're sitting there before the last event, which is DeSoto, and we're all trying to figure out what we need to do to what we need to score to win this category or win that category. So we had a lot of fun. But what we're doing for this year coming up is we're actually going to have standalone events.
Okay.
So, we're not going to piggyback. The intent was, even last year was that we're going to have standalone events, but, just getting the infrastructure, getting everything set up wasn't practical on the time constraint. So we're actually going to have a standalone event where we're going to have, we're going to have about 16 pitmasters this year.
Okay. So you have 16 members of the National Barbecue League, right?
Give or take. We're sending out invites now. We're figuring out who's in, who's out.
Okay.
So, we'll be making those announcements coming up, but it's going to expand. And we're looking at making these events. Tim and I sat down and we were like, okay, what's wrong with competition barbecue? Why, what needs to be fixed and what are we doing wrong? And I think competition barbecue, when it started, it's great. Let's get in the parking lot. Let's there's no public facing thing. Let's turn some meat into some judges and have it be all secretive.
Right.
And then we'll go about our way. But now you're starting to get more money involved. You're starting to get these sponsors involved, and you're trying to show them the return on investment. It's really hard in barbecue to show them this because, people come out, the public comes out on a Saturday afternoon, and what are we doing? We're trying to get the hell out of Dodge, right?
Right.
We just got done cooking. We stayed up all night. We're tired. We're hot, and all we want to do is leave. So when you got your public coming in, your ambassadors and your cooks are disengaged, and they're just trying to leave. So we kind of are breaking the mold a little bit in that we're going to look at this as a live sporting event, the turn-in times. So we're going to change when the turn-in times are first of all, instead of being from the noon to 2. And with most people cooking hot and fast, it seems to make a little bit more sense to push them a little bit later. So we're going to coincide the turn-in times with something on the event that makes sense. And we're going to have a live scoring element. So as the chicken scores come in, you're going to know what the chicken scores are. As the rib scores come in, so every half hour you're going to know the leaderboard's going to update, so to speak. And then we're going to have a fantasy aspect that's going to do that because we know who's going to be there cooking. So we can have a online fantasy. We've got some great partners. We've got Yeti. We've got Snake River Farms. Obviously Blues Hog, Gateway Drums. We're talking to some other people. But we're going to have some nice prize packages for the fantasy, nice prize packages for stuff coming in. So we're going to have some live scoring. We're going to have an MC that's going to be out there walking around, talking to the cooks, getting reactions as this stuff happens. So what we're trying to do is make this thing something that people want to come to see and that sponsors want to come in to invest in. And then hopefully, if we can get that successful, kind of stop the tide of competition barbecue retracting, then we can expand this, and ultimately we want to look at regional stuff. We want to look at some stuff where we can get more teams involved than just the top 16 that we have. Where we can get, maybe some kind of a Sam's replacement or something going on in the future. Again, don't quote me. These are high level ideas, but anyway, our first one is at the Big 12 basketball tournament in Kansas City, Missouri, which is I believe the 2nd, 15th, 14th, 15th, something like that of March. And we're going to be right in front of the Sprint Center. If you're in Kansas City, you can come on down and we're doing a lot of cool stuff. So we're just trying to break the mold. We came at it and said, okay,
it's just going to be the 16 or 15 or however many of y'all and nobody else, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: are you going to change the way that you turn in the food? Are you going to, hide it in the boxes? Excuse me. Or are you going to do it more world food style? Get it out in the open where people can see it.
Well, we want to have a judging aspect where people can see it, but we do want to still keep the double blind. And our goal is to keep this under the umbrella of KCBS. Mm-hmm. And so in order to do what we're doing, we need to follow the KCBS procedure still. Okay. So we still want the double blind, although there will be afterwards, there'll be obviously we're more, and some of this is still being worked through, but we do want judge feedback. We do want, and we want people in this that have thick enough skin that could be able to take it. If that judge gives them a 6 or 7, obviously, we know the people that are in the National Barbecue League, and they'll have good humor about it. So, we're going to keep it that way just because, one of our goals is, we all have brands and we want to see KCBS get built up. I mean, we want KCBS to grow. Yeah. And we want to get people, and we're looking at this as just a show that gets people inspired, gets people into competition barbecue, and gives them something to see.
Well, Brad, I think it's a great idea, and I think it's a great idea to get the audience, the people that come watch us cook, get them more involved with the live scoring, and make it more interactive. You don't know how much I appreciate you coming on the show with me tonight and filling us in on this kind of stuff. And I'd love to get you back maybe towards March when you've got some more finalized plans. And let's plan on announcing those teams here and who's in, and let's build them up a little bit. And look forward to following y'all all summer long on not only the National Barbecue League but on the regular KCBS circuit as well.
Yeah, and get out there. We've been doing, one of the things we're doing is a bunch of instructional videos and how-tos and just trying to lower the learning curve of getting in. So, get out there and check us out, definitely on Facebook. We've got a YouTube channel that we put, you've got Travis Clark, trimming a brisket. Mm-hmm. You've got, you're getting real recipes and real stuff if you're a new cook. So definitely get out there and subscribe to our channels. We're giving stuff out.
Y'all have done a great job disseminating information. Brad Leineger, thank you so much for spending time here on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. And we'll see you probably again in March. And let's talk more about the NBBLQ, all right? Or the NBBQL.
Yep, sounds good.
Thank you so much, Brad.
Yeah, we want it. Yeah.
Appreciate you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Leineger coming to you live here on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. Hey, let's change gears a little bit. And we are going to go local now. We're going to get on the phone. And we're going to talk to Jake Raulston, who is the owner of Naked River Brewery, Company down on the south side, right by Finley Stadium. We're going to get Jake on the phone right now. Let's see. Let's do him. Just bear with me, everyone. I sure appreciate you. Here he comes. We'll be talking with Jake Raulston from Naked River Brewing Company down on the south side. Hello, Jake.
This Jake, how's it going?
Good, Jake. How you doing? Good to see you, and good to hear from you. Rather,
Yeah,
we appreciate
doing well.
you. We appreciate you being with us, Jake Raulston, the owner of Naked River Brewing Company in downtown Chattanooga, on the south side, right next to the pavilion, across the I guess sidewalk from Finley Stadium. Jake, you guys have created a tremendous. I'm going to call it not just a restaurant, but a landmark already here in Chattanooga. How did that whole concept come to be for Naked River?
You know, to be honest with you, this has not been. A lot of people think this kind of popped out of the blue, but this has been a 10-year in the making, a project for us. All of us have known each other throughout, you know, growing up in high school or meeting each other along the ways, along the roads, and we just had this idea in Chattanooga long before some of the other places started popping up that we wanted to have this great place for everyone to come in and hang out, an outdoor space, you know, good food, good beer, and really what we like to call this all-day hangout spot for Chattanooga, and that's what we slowly started working on, and we started right about 10 years ago, planning, processing, and just really talking about the ideas, and all the pieces really fell into place last November for us to get moving on it.
Well, the building that you guys got, did you ever in your wildest dreams imagine that you'd be occupying such a historical building on the south side?
No, not whatsoever. Like I said, again, growing up here, and I'm very familiar with the building. And when I was told that we would be bidding on the building to possibly move into it, I had to scratch my head. And in fact, I even got on Google Maps several times just to locate the building and just verify that, you know, what my brain was telling me and what was actually shown in front of my face were the same things. And that, you know, we were about to undertake such a big project. So, no, I remember the building quite well. I remember in my younger days in high school, that building actually got hit in the back corner by tornadoes and ripped off the whole back end wall.
Mm-hmm.
The roof caved in. And I'm pretty sure, in fact, now, if most of you look it up on Google Maps, it still shows the roof caved in, unless they've updated it since my last time on there. But yeah, it's quite a historical building. It's caught on fire twice. Obviously, like I said, it's been hit by tornadoes. It's definitely not been lucky by any sorts of means, but it's still standing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to stand for a long time now. The great job y'all have done. I watched it when I went down to the market this summer a couple of times. I watched it as y'all were, you know, every time I went down there, y'all had done just a little bit more and a little bit more. And I just thought to myself, this is going to be an incredible venue here on the south side on Saturdays, on Sundays, game days, all the soccer activities that are going on down there now. I think you've hit a home run. Correct me if I'm wrong, but business has got to be good already.
Yeah, business is great. We opened up with 2 markets left in the season, so we got to capture a little bit of the market audience, which my wife and myself, we're a long-time market goers.
Mm-hmm.
And as you kind of explained it, you know, we kind of did this a little bit, a bit at a time. It's because, you know, this is all local people that were sitting here building this thing, and there was no big money involved. We did it as we could do it, and we did it as fast as we could do it for, you know, what we had. And we were down there nearly every Sunday, shaking hands, bringing people in the doors
Yeah.
and greeting them from the market, even when we weren't open. And so, yeah, no, we're very pleased on the turnout. Business has been very, very, very receptive so far, and we just absolutely cannot wait to move forward into the summer or spring season. I mean, we really haven't got to utilize our patio yet, and that's going to be killer in the upcoming months.
Well, you've got other than the craft beers and brewing your own beer, we'll get to that in a moment. But the food is the barbecue is the talk of the town so far about how now and tell everyone you guys are using real wood pits, and tell about the unique atmosphere that you've got these real wood pits in. I mean, you're doing it Austin, Texas style. I'll just tell you, you're not, this is the old way of doing it. Explain to everyone how you've got those smokers in there.
Yeah, of course. So I went to school in Mississippi, and a lot of people don't know this about Mississippi. They don't associate barbecue with Mississippi as much, but they're very famous for having a lot of their gas stations would be probably the best roadside barbecue that you've ever had in your life. And you'd pull up and it'd just be pits stacked out inside of these gas stations.
Yeah.
And that's where you would go and get your plate lunches. You'd go in there and you pay about $7, and you would choose a meat and 3 sides and do a full plate lunch right there. And that was very common everywhere we went. I mean, out of the 12 gas stations that I can recall off the top of my head in Oxford, Mississippi, at least 9 of them offered some type of plate lunch special like that, and that's where we ate the majority of our meals. Then shortly following after that, I worked stints in and out of Texas and out of Louisiana, and I just kind of really fell in love with that just back open stick fire barbecue that we're doing down there at Naked River. And so when I moved back and we started this concept, I said, you know what, I don't want to take the shortcut of this. This is what I want to do. And someone, lo and behold, our cook current found out, our plans, and he had the same passion that we did. And he calls me up and he goes, "Hey, I'm going to bring you my resume." I said, "Okay."
Wow.
So he meets us down on site, and he shows up with a plate full of spare ribs. And
that's quite a resume.
Yep, and that's a hell of a resume. Most people that know spare ribs are not. A lot of us here in East Tennessee are used to baby back ribs fall off the bone, and we don't really know about spare ribs. And I knew about them coming from Texas. They're just a whole different delicacy all on their own. So when he showed up with them and how well they're prepared, they're hired. We're doing this right here and there. So we don't take any easy routes. We brought in traditional style smokers. We have one reverse offset smoker, and we have one traditional style Aaron Franklin smoker that we've housed outside into a cargo container. Both are running a mixture of post oak and hickory mix that we supply most of the wood here. With local farmers and what we can get around. I mean, we've actually bought up a majority of the supply, so we've gotten everyone on board on sourcing our wood. So it's been kind of a cool aspect for all that. But it's a 16-hour day type schedule. With obviously the brisket taking the longest amount of time. So they get in every morning at 5 a.m. They light the pits out there in our little cargo container, and they go in, trim the briskets while the pits get up to temperature. We run them right about 275, and all we do is salt and pepper, traditional Texas style. There's no other seasonings involved or any other methods. In fact, we don't even have microwaves. So
wow,
it's kind of the big end on our aspect is we are pretty much pit to table for
Are
restaurant service.
Jake?
So,
Are y'all using the sellout method on some? If you're out that day, you're just out, and you have to get something else.
that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. And
That's the best way to do
a
it.
lot of kickback.
Go ahead.
We got a lot of kickback on that when we originally opened our doors, and everyone was like upset. They're like, "Oh, you're out of brisket," and we have a certain amount of brisket that we can fit on that smoker at a time.
Yeah.
And if we sell it that day, we sell out. We hate it, but I mean, you need to come back and try it again another day.
How many briskets are y'all doing a day?
It all depends on what we're prepping for. On an average day, right now in the week, we're doing about 14.
Wow.
And we've been through our suppliers. We're actually right now we're sourcing all our brisket from the same place that Aaron Franklin is sourcing his brisket. So if you want to talk about true South Texas barbecue, we're all buying our meat from the same supplier, which is pretty incredible all the way up here.
That is.
Tennessee.
Because you're cooking. Because if you're doing that, you're cooking prime briskets.
Our cook has made it enough ways for what he's doing to where they've reached out to him and said, "Hey, this is who we're supplying. I think you need to be on the same page too." So I think that was a really big honor for us to find out that
absolutely
we're heard of all the way down in Austin, Texas.
Well, if you got Aaron Franklin's attention, you got my attention. That's for sure. And then so you're doing briskets. Of course, that's the sexy meat. Everybody always talks about their brisket, and you're doing them Texas style, salt and pepper. And I hope you're doing them fat side up. Am I right? Fat side up? Because that's the way Aaron does it. There you go. I panicked for just a moment. And then so you're doing ribs.
Yeah, I've never had good results with fat side down. I just don't know who does that. I've heard of it, but that's not my style. I want all the fat dripping strip all the way through the meat.
Well, Jake, there's all sorts of ways to get to Chicago, but you do ribs, pork butts, I'm sure, right?
Of course.
Pork butt, chicken. What are you doing? Quarters or full chickens? What kind of chicken?
We're not doing chicken yet. That's something that we're going to intermix into the menu, as well as some beef short ribs. We don't feel like that beef short ribs are well valued enough down here in this market,
well, they're
and
expensive.
we really want to kind of grab the bull by the horns and really intermix some beef short ribs. So no, we're loading the chicken. We're doing a lot of the turkey.
Mm-hmm.
So the smoked turkey breast has really hit it off for us. In fact, if you can ask anyone that's coming in and out of our establishment and ask them what their two favorite things are, it's usually the brisket and the turkey. Turkey's been a huge home run for us. And again, it's just salt and pepper. We take it to about 140 on the smoker, pull it off, wrap it, and then put it back on the smoker to let it finish off to 165. And I mean, here I am divulging the secrets, but it's really not that hard. You can look it up anywhere, and for your next turkey dinner next year, you can always come down to us or practice the same technique.
Jake, the thing about good barbecue is, and I don't have to tell you, it's simple. The best barbecue, the best barbecue made is simply made. You got to cook it, and then the rule. And there's one, and as well as I do, there's one rule in barbecue: cook it till it's done. And there's no other way to do it. You got to cook it till it's done, or it's just not going to be good barbecue. It's got to be tender, and the only way you get to tender is cook it till it's done. And sometimes it takes 14 hours. Sometimes it takes 16 hours, doesn't it? Sometimes you get a brisket. Sometimes you get a brisket, you don't think this thing's ever going to get done. You wonder what in the world's wrong with it.
Yeah, hey, and I've hit those stalls, and I've been there for those long periods of time. I've got a very particular cook that he waits on them, and he doesn't look at any thermometers. He does it by feel. So he picks them up. If it jiggles the right way, he's pulling it. If it does not, just stays on.
Hey, tell us about this real cool event y'all have got coming up Saturday. I saw this online and I thought, man, I wish I could. I got to work this Saturday, but if you're not working, tell about this, Jake. This is gonna be a fantastic event.
Yeah, and this is not a one-time event. We've gotten a lot of requests that says, hey, we're out of town, and we wish we could make it. We want to do it again. This is, when we came to Chattanooga, and again, sitting back to the fact that when we were planning all this, we were really hoping to make Chattanooga a craft beer destination. We're working with a lot of the other local breweries, but essentially, what we're trying to do is we're raising awareness for the community on craft beer. So coming up this Saturday, you go onto our website, you can buy tickets, but essentially you come in for $15. You get to spend the entire day brewing with us, bring our equipment. You're going to be involved in the process, top to bottom. We're going to feed you. You're going to get taste some Naked River beer. And at the end of the day, you're going to get to leave with 5 gallons of your own wort. And the idea behind this is we're all going to go in there, we're going to brew a beer, and we can all leave with our own little samples of wort. We can add our own yeast or adjuncts or whatever else. So come a month from now, we're going to meet back up, and we're going to do basically a bottle sharing.
Oh, man, that's cool.
Yeah. Right. So if everyone – kind of did a different style for the final fermentation. Mm-hmm. We're going to essentially end up, if we got 50 people signed up, we're going to have 50 different types of beers that we're going to bottle share. So if you come down Saturday, whether you want to be a part of that whole program or not, you can come see it. But if you've got, just the slight kind of that little itch that says, hey, I want to try this home brewing thing out.
Yeah.
This is the opportunity, because there's nothing involved that you need to be, skilled in. So you could come down, literally get a free sample of wort from us. You can buy the yeast on site. You can buy the adjuncts on site. You can throw whatever you want into the beer, and we're hosting all that. So, like I said, it's basically, hey, we're new to the community. We want to make sure the community knows that we want them to come in and make good beer with us. It's essentially what it is. So it's a great event. And you get free beer, free food just for showing up. So, I mean, what's better than that?
No, there's nothing better than that. And then my next question is, when are you going to do the barbecue for a day?
Bring people in to do a barbecue event?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Then you really got my attention.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we probably need to put on the books.
Yeah. Have your pit master come out and show people how to
cook. Yeah.
Yeah, it's people. I think you get more people signed up for the barbecue pit master for a day than you would for the beer for a day, and I think you're going to be really crowded with the beer for a day. Jake. That's a great idea. Getting people involved in a part of the restaurant that you guys are involved in. I mean, I think it's a great marketing plan. Who thought of that? Did you think of that?
No, that was our head brewer, and that's kind of our motto going through this whole entire process. I mean, a lot of people, like I said, they think we just popped out of nowhere, but we were really a brewery that was built for the community. We've been in here and we've been trying to get this done since about 2010. It's just finances and everything else, and we wanted to give back, and this is our first taste to give back. And so our head brewer stepped up and he said, "Hey, I want to have everyone in here, and I want to train them on being a part of this, and let's just get it going. Let's get the community involved, and let's make something truly that we're all proud of." And I can totally see that for the barbecue as well. I think that's a great idea.
I can't wait to come down there. Maybe I can come down there Saturday afternoon. I'll bring the family down, and maybe we can come down there and sample some of that beer. because I really do. I really want to sample some of that brisket because it sounds like you guys are doing that right. Where can people go sign up for to get tickets for this Saturday?
Yeah, you can go right on our website. It says directly on our homepage.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Facebook savvy, it's blowing up all over our Facebook page. So you gotta go on. It's an Eventbrite hosted event. Again, you don't have to bring home to work with you. We've had a couple of questions that we wanted to participate, but we don't really care about bringing the beer home. We just really want to be there to learn how to brew. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a wide open event, and it's literally just about getting good people, good friends together that enjoy and love craft beer all together. That's our whole goal there. Is to kind of bring us all together just for that one goal.
Well, Jake Raulston, good luck to you on that little endeavor. I think you're going to have a packed house on Saturday, and don't be surprised if you look up in the Ray, Steve, Barber, and Emma are circling the dining area, sampling some brisket this Saturday afternoon, and maybe you might even catch me out back going through that container, looking at those smokers too. If that's okay with you and the pitmaster.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. That'd be wonderful. Stop there and say hello.
Well, Jake, thank you so much, everybody. Jake Raulston, owner of Naked River Brewing Company down on the south side, right by Finley Stadium, a landmark location already in the Chattanooga South Side resurgent. Jake, thank you so much for joining us, okay?
Yeah, cheers, everyone, and thank y'all for listening.
You bet. And we'll see him soon down on the south side. What a great two great guys that are just so passionate about their careers. Brad Leineger from Gettin Basted Barbecue, a tremendous not only a tremendous barbecue cook, but a barbecue competition innovator who's trying to raise the level and the participation of people that are fans in the actual contest. And Jake Raulston and his crew down at Naked River, getting people involved in the restaurant. And this is how we do it. And we want to bring you in so you can learn how to do it as well with us. Two great guys, and we can't thank them enough for being here on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. We're going to take off right now. Next week, we've got the administrator of Backyard Barbecue. He'll be on. Wes Phillips will be with us. We'll have another guest from the local area. And we thank you so much for joining us. And remember, the reason that we get together every Wednesday night here on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show is because nobody ever, and I mean nobody ever, said, "Come on over, Steve, and let's sous vide." We'll see you guys next Wednesday here on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show.